for this Auckland side, under a lot of pressure through the defence. But they did so well there, Auckland, to get that ball back and get themselves out of trouble, because we know how lethal Canterbury can be in the opposition's 22.
Yep. Walking in.
Full line out for Canterbury. It is brought down by Bayfield. They set up for a drive, something they're so good at. The body's quite high for Auckland as well, so they're getting some good go forward. Starting to twist, and again, it just breaks away, still going forward. Ponsonby with the ball in hand. Hits the deck, they're 5 metres out now, Canterbury. Running onto it is Jenkins. Tries to find an angle, but Blackwell is in there over the ball, and that's what you want your captain to do early in the game.
That was smart from Blackwell. She could see that Jenkins had lost her legs in the tackle, and the ball was exposed, which she pounced on really quickly. Great work.
Just there on that mark, on the 5, yes, thank you. Sorry. Yep, on you there. I'll be at the back now, Paul.
Well, initially it was a great carry from Lucy Jenkins, but unfortunately the cleaners that were with her in support weren't there fast enough or low enough to take Eloise Blackwell away from that ball. And like you said, Les, great body position from it.
They find the target in Roos. Auckland so lucky to have 2 Blackfern locks at their disposal. They come back to this left edge, and it's a wayward pass from Blackwell. But Canterbury were offside anyway, so a get out of jail card for Eloise.
Absolutely. She got her arms free, did really well there, but the offload was just off. But you can see they wanted to let that ball go, the Auckland Storm.
Offside. Yep. Yes, just off the line, yeah.
That's a telling stat early in this game. We've not yet entered Canterbury's half. Auckland doing well on defence, and again they've turned the ball over. Great contest in the air from the red and blacks. Heaney to Ponsonby. She tucks her shoulder down and drives.
Not in the way, plate.
Heaney doing her best to try and get a penalty, not successful. Duplessis is forced to go back and tidy up. Tries to find some space.
Stay here.
Cut the Auckland, clips her around the ankles. Counter ruck coming in from Sophie Fisher. And it's been successful. Brilliant work from the tight head prop. So now Auckland with their first possession. And got a player down injured too. We'll come back and check on that soon. Vahakolo now. The counter-rucking was absolutely fantastic for Auckland, and it's given them a chance to run with the ball.
Play.
Valeko gives the pop pass into Brunt.
Yeah. Stay there.
And you can see the medical team asking the ref to call time off, but he says no, so they continue. Right, Akele, well, she missed time that one, didn't she? And is met by the shoulder of Ruahei Demand.
Stay here.
Canterbury doing well to get numbers back.
Use it!
Now they're forced to try and exit. Will they run? Yes, they will. This time, it's the front rowers, Amy Rule.
Yeah, advantage. Blue offside. Offside in that zone.
Offside against Auckland. So their first opportunity with the ball in hand, Les.
Yes, and I mean, they gave it to the lady with one of the strongest running games in the game, Sylvia Brunt. But I think one thing I'd like to credit is the intent and attitude that the Storm are showing at the breakdown. They're sending numbers in there, and the numbers that are in there are causing a real nuisance for Canterbury.
Well, at the moment, they're just checking on Taylor Simpson. It looks like she'll be leaving the field. It was a slight knee injury. Could be an MC, but they've had Isabella Waterman take the field and replacing that one. And take a look at the injury here. Oh, just falling on the left knee there. A lot of impact coming through from Sophie Fisher.
Let's go, ladies.
Well, Isabella Waterman will be taking that position there in the midfield. She can play first five and fullback, or the outside too. Very versatile.
Auckland tried their best to keep that ball in, and as you say, Isabella Waterman onto the field, playing their 20th game today. And a very versatile player, as Taylor Curtis alluded to.
Yeah, just kick that off. Thank you.
Georgia Ponsonby. Oh, that's an overthrow. And into the hands of Mama Vaipulu. Puckett, someone who knows plenty about this Canterbury team, having played for them previously. Blackwell with the carry. Puckett clears quickly. Beautiful hands from Fisher to Brunt. Brunt always good for a couple metres past the gain line. Roos. Tackled by Rock Greenway. Just playing a real physical game at the moment, or Auckland. That time it's Moi Moi.
Not on the ball.
Puckett, they go down that short side. Blackwell.
No lift. Leave it now. 2 goes.
Like I said, the efficiency and effectiveness that the Storm are applying to the breakdown is just giving them quick ruck ball, but every time their ball carriers are hitting the ball, hitting the line at pace, and continue to just make gain line, which is making it really hard for Canterbury to disrupt their flow.
Absolutely. They're building those phases in Canterbury. They're actually trying to put the numbers into the ruck and get that turnover, but it's not paying off for them just because, like you said, Les, it's just down to the work from the Auckland side. Nice and low body position to retain that ball. Putting a lot of pressure on this Canterbury.
Line out, finds its target in Roos, and it's a good quick drive from Auckland. Ball is right there, you can see it. They start to file in. Mataele there, the winger, disrupting. Puckett with ball in hands. Now Blackwell driven backwards. Great tackle from Hannah King coming in there. First five getting well in the thick of it.
Stay on. Use it!
Blackwell told to use it. Runs into the strong shoulders of Canterbury. Trying to go quickly as Katoka.
Take that step.
Puckett gets it to Veliko. Strong drive from Veliko. She's over the line, but has she got the ball over? Yes, she has. Look at her celebration. She's thrilled at Chris Veliko in her 28th game for Auckland.
I think she even tried to throw up a dab at there, but it might have hit Sophie Fisher in the head. Oh, there it goes. There's the dab. She got it done. But she has had an outstanding start. I don't even know if that is a dab. It's kind of a different look. She's had an outstanding start to this game. A couple of great carries, a couple of big hits, and now a try for Chris Veliko.
And great work from Sophie Fisher as well to latch on to Veliko right there. And you can hear the support coming from this Auckland bench, in particular Cheyenne Tulifale, the props friend with Chrissy. How good from Auckland. They'll be happy with that. A lot of defence in the early opening minutes of this game, and to get themselves in that position down into the field and get the rewards as well. Good work from their forward pack.
Conversion is successful from Demant, and you'd have to say, Les, that try was against the run of play, because it really has been all Canterbury.
It has, but I think the moments where the Storm have been able to get their hands on the ball, they've shown real promise. There was the intent to run from their 22, and unfortunately that pass from Ruahei just didn't go to hand, but that could have been lethal. And now they've shown their strength with a pick-and-go game through the middle. So you've got a wide range of skill sets here being on display from the Storm. Makes for an exciting start to the game.
Well, the Storm, despite being on long periods of time on defence, have not missed a tackle in the opening 12 minutes. It'll be pleasing for head coach Willie Walker as they get us underway again, coming to this left side, and it's Vaipulu once more with the first carry. Veliko with another short pop pass in to Brunt. Puckett comes to the right-hand side. Vaipulu again. Blackwell decides to pick, but Jenkins is there, and they've got the penalty advantage as well. Jenkins was offside, so Puckett puts up a box kick, a bit of a Hail Mary. Hutana is going to collect it cleanly, so another penalty against Canterbury.
Mama Vaipulu come into the starting lineup this week due to Liana Makaeletu being out, and already she's injected herself into this game. A couple of very good kick receives off the kickoff and strong carries as well, so awesome start to the game for that youngster.
Yes, it's just after that tackle, just never back on.
Brilliant
track,
touch finder too. Taylor Curtis, what's the weather doing down there? Because we know in Auckland it changes every 5 minutes.
And as you say that, Taylor, the wind is starting to pick up just a little bit, but going from left to right, so it will help in Auckland's favour for the kicking.
Well, certainly didn't help with the line-out accuracy. As Ponsonby
Not on the ball.
has ball in hand. Heaney, there you go, shift the ball out into that right side, and Jenkins spotted a gap. Couldn't quite break away from Moi Moi. Kick is charged. And it's still in the hands of Canterbury. Heaney has options left and right, goes to the left, pop past to Dermody. Clean coming in from Ponsonby is good. Puckett tries to disrupt Heaney. They have plenty of battles, those two. Waterman fires the ball away, and how did she get through that hole? Bayfield just tiptoed away with the right foot, step two, passes it as she's falling. And Heaney, she tried to go quickly with the pay and ended up just passing that ball forward. But how about that toe from Laura Bayfield?
Absolutely, Taylor. Like, that was one clean line break. I think she maybe got one hand on her. She just backed her pace. Great explosive speed there. Even a bit of footwork. Got the pass away enough for Di Heaney to pick that up. But unfortunately, that final pass. But what a break, Bayfield.
Absolutely, and she put the defender Mizuho Kataoka under all sorts of pressure. She had a little bit of a support line outside her too, so great work from Laura Bayfield. She was the top defender, beaten 6 this year, and you can add another one to that one.
So if Auckland win this game here, they will finish top of the table, as we said, in pole position in the Premiership, and put themselves in a lovely position to host a semi-final and potentially a final if they get through there. So they would meet Hawke's Bay, and Canterbury would meet Waikato. And Les, how awesome that Hawke's Bay have guaranteed themselves a top 4 finish, considering they've just come up from the championship.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I got to call their game last week against the Bay, against my home team, which is hard for me, but look, they are well deserving of their place in the Premiership division, and they've proved that not by just beating one, you know, not getting just a fluke win here or there, but now beating 3 top teams and making semi-finals.
Crouch!
Auckland have a 100% success rate with their own feeds.
Sit!
Pretty impressive. But Canterbury have just disrupted that. In fact, they're going to reset it, so they will keep that stat alive. Commentators curse well and truly at playlist.
I was holding my breath there thinking, oh, we've just jinxed them, but no.
Good height, well done.
The ref saved them.
Good break foots too, ladies. Keep it up. Crouch!
The last time Auckland beat Canterbury was back in 2017 at this very ground.
Sit!
Score was 41 points to 12. They'll be hoping to break that long drought as Demant gets through some space, but it's the pass that was disrupted by Hutana. Couldn't find Vahakoro, could Demant. And Canterbury have possession again. Dermody ducks past the tackle of Fisher, but Blackwell was there. Heaney again finding her front rowers, Love and Rule. Love a carry, those two. Pop pass on the inside to Waterman wasn't successful. Greenway tidies up the scraps. In fact, it was knocked on along the ground. And Les, you just can't help but think that this Canterbury attack seems a bit disjointed without Rosie Kelly there.
Yeah, 100%, and maybe understandably so. They've got some big names out, Rosie Kelly, Grace Brooker. We've seen her doing her sprints on the sideline, so obviously she's good to run, but they're missing some big names and some crucial game drivers.
And you can see on attack, Canterbury, they're in their formation, but they're just so flat at the moment. So whenever they try to get that offload away, it's not finding the hand, it's going back past the play. So the timing's been off for Canterbury. So Alana Bremner having the opportunity to talk to her side and probably tell them it's time to get a little bit deeper and clean it up.
Playing in her 80th game today is Louise Blackwell, the captain, a real stalwart for this Auckland team. Who've played plenty of rugby with her, Les, as well. She's had such a good career, as is this woman here, who's probably had so many injuries, which has been so frustrating for her.
Yeah, both great women. I mean, Eloise, you know, long-serving Auckland Storm player, long-serving Blackburn since 2011. And then that young gun, Grace Brooker, riddled with a bit of injury, but so much promise in future.
Most qualified water runner today.
I believe they're called hydration specialists now, Taylor.
Yeah, some set, some good on the couch. I'll wear that. Okay.
So a couple of scrum resets as well here. And two very good packs. So you look at that front row, I've spoken about plenty of times for Canterbury, but Veliko, Nagata and Fisher have really stood up for Auckland this year. Fisher, of course, on the tight head, used to be a midfielder, moved into 8, then into lock, found her way to the front row, and has really found her home here. Puckett taps Moi for the 8-9 play, and it's a big, wide-ranging pass to Vahakolo. It was on the money as well. Vahakolo breaking defenders left, right and centre. And that's a brilliant set-piece move from Auckland, marching themselves up the field. Pick and go from Demant, of all people. Puckett goes to the left, Fisher goes between a gap, couldn't link up with Rue. She had her hands to it, but the tackle coming in from Canterbury just dislodging.
There's great vision there by Puckett to get that long ball away to Vahakolo. And I mean, when she's got ball in hand, she's only going in one direction. She's top of the table for post-contact meters, and we just see it right there. She breaks tackles and just keeps fighting through.
As you mentioned, Les, there's top meters in contact, 97 to be exact, before today. So she's a hard player to get down, and she gets plenty of go forward for them. So it's a great option from Puckett to get that ball out to her.
Well, the opening 10 minutes, it was all Canterbury, but now Auckland have really evened that up. Strong scrum coming in from Canterbury. Having to take a step backwards to receive that was Waterman, but a powerful boot. Puts it just on the halfway line. Sorensen McGee gives it to Bahai. They don't want to give her too much space. Puckett by Pulu. Puckett goes down that short side again. Demant with the quick hands to Brunt. Not a lot of space to work with down there. There's Fisher with the pass to the back door. Vahakolo just always fights so hard to get on her feet again.
Play for now.
Good counter ruck coming from Love, but there was no one there to support her and pick up that ball, so they'll go again, Auckland. Puckett found Nankiville.
Stay on.
Also got Mataere at the same time as the ball did Nankiville. And they're just going backwards here at the moment, or Auckland. Puckett gets the pass into the middle of the field through Blackwell. Ball bobbles out. Back into the hands of Demant now. She finds her hooker in Nagata. Vahakolo with another opportunity. Passes it back on the inside to Nagata. Demant. This is good passing from the Auckland team, and Roos is going to find some space. gets rid of right Kelly. The covering tackle coming in from Waterman needed to be made. They got numbers galore to the left if they can get it out. The skip pass wasn't needed. Bahai with very little room to work with. Ball bobbles back in here. That was outstanding scramble defence coming in from Canterbury. Looked like a try heading to Roos, but they're now just about 15 metres out. Still going this time through Demant. Entering their 13th phase. Good leg drive from the Blackburn captain. They're going to pick and go. This is a strong carry from this Auckland forward pack. They really have been monstrous in the opening 20 minutes. Running onto the ball is Brunt. Low body position. Not too much the Canterbury defenders could do. And you can hear the roar from the crowd because all her school friends are here as well.
No one other than Sylvia Brunt. You're not going to stop her that close to the line when she's hitting the ball with speed and on that angle, but just got to appreciate the skill set from the Storm, the ability to keep that ball alive. And like we seen earlier, Laura Bayfield break through the middle of the field. Maya Roos has just come back and done the exact same to get her team some go forward.
Absolutely, and to be able to string about 14 phases together, that was incredible work from Auckland. And the work rate too, to get back into position and to get those pods moving, putting a lot of pressure on the defence for Canterbury. They were just rolling backwards that entire time.
Yeah.
And then going back to their bread and butter for Auckland, just using their forwards right close to the line. And Sylvia Brunt crashing over. You're not going to stop her that close.
I feel like Canterbury has done really well to shut down the likes of Sylvia up until this moment, to shut down Angelica Vahai. But in those moments, you've had players like Kataoka, Moi Moi, Vaipulu, Kawakalani Roos all step up in their place. So it's just giving Auckland Storm threats all over the park.
Absolutely, and when you've got those star players, you almost overcompensate and put defensive pressure on them, and you forget about the other ones that had the ability to just turn you back into it.
As Blackburn captain Les Alder has said, it's really been the forwards for Auckland. Done plenty of work this afternoon. And just running onto that ball with such strength again. Outstanding work from Moi Moi. Demant decides to change direction. Looking for the 50-22 as well. Right, Akeli though bobbles it, but brings it down. Here goes King, gets that pass to Duplessis, and we haven't said her name at all this game. Duplessis, such a weapon to have in your backline, but hasn't been given the opportunity, and it's just a cold drop there from Sorensen McGee. So this could be the opportunity Canterbury need just to reset and introduce some of their backs into the game.
It's a great observation there, Taylor. We haven't seen Duplessis fire, so here is a good opportunity to see that. They need to get some consistency. And unfortunate here for Braxton Sorensen McGee. It could have been exciting to see her and Vahai in open space.
Already?
Well, for Canterbury, they're actually quite strong in this part of the game with the 20 minutes leading into the half-time break. And especially in this side of the field, this is exactly where they want to be playing.
Use it.
Ball's there for Henny. And then Mataele just skips away from the first defender. Introducing her into the game just goes to show how dangerous he can be. Quick hands as well coming in from Bremner. Strong carry.
In the air, good contest.
Moi Moi though, she stripped the ball in the contest out of Hannah King's hands.
Tackle out. It's there. Good
She
work.
really has stepped up today. Has Moi Moi with the absence of Mikaela Tu'u. Demant couldn't take that one cleanly. And it's
Went forward on that pickup.
been knocked on, so another opportunity now for Canterbury. Les, we saw what they did off that first set piece. They brought Mataele into the game. What can they do on this one?
Yeah, we did, and we know that their set piece is strong as well, their line out, so no doubt they will potentially go to the... Oh, no, we've got scrum, sorry, my apologies. But with Hayley Hutana, she's loading up inside Hannah King, so they may look to bring their winger in.
off screen there, you could also see Amy Duplessis passing on some messages to that player inside her, Isabella Waterman. Both loaded, so offering plenty of options for this backline.
Duplessis at 10 test Blackburn. As it's an 8-9 play for Canterbury. They go deep. Duplessis, the ball just above her head, couldn't reel it in, so a missed opportunity there for Canterbury. Blackwell runs the settler for her Auckland team. Fisher, quick hands again, this time to Vahakoro, caught behind the advantage line, and it's another mistake for Auckland, but they're still under that advantage from the Duplessis knock-on, so lucky get Harajal again once more for Auckland.
It is, but you can see that there is no intent to actually exit or kick out from their 22. They're wanting to run it, which is interesting. You'd think with a 14-point lead, maybe just to play down at the other end of the field to apply consistent pressure on Canterbury to make it really hard for them to fight back. Because as we know, Canterbury are an 80-minute team and they will always fight back.
And just an update on Taylor Simpson. It's just an old injury that's flared up on her knee there, but she's got an ice pack to it. And they'll know the further extent later on, but for now she seems in good spirits.
Puckett taps Moimoy, they go to the right-hand side, and she held the pass too long. Luckily, Brunt was able to reel it in. It almost ended up in the hands of Duplessis, and they have got the penalty now as well. So, camped down inside Auckland's half-lairs, but they're just unable to really execute their own plays.
They haven't, but I mean, like I said, without being able to exit well, now Canterbury are on the attack in a great position to close that margin down and release some pressure.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Les. It is unlike Auckland to be playing this part of the field and not choosing the option to exit. You do wonder if they will be talking about that at the second half, because now they've given the opportunity to Canterbury.
Well, they've got the first thing right, and that is a set piece. Jenkins decides to come up, and it's Ponsonby who's taken around the ankles by Kata Oka. A tip-on pass from Love to her captain and Bremner. Again, Jenkins, she changes direction but runs into traffic. Heaney with the quick ball, quick recycle. It's a skip-out pass to Mataele, and to footwork on Mataele, a strong right foot step. But we highlighted her pre-game, saying you need to get the ball in her hands, and look what happens when you do.
We've got two great wingers going up head-to-head, and Mataele's done really well to shut Vahai out of this game. But when she's had her moment to attack, she has made them pay. I think the issue of not exiting has really been quite detrimental for Auckland in this case. You just can't give that Canterbury team opportunities to attack.
Absolutely, and how about the long pass range from both Daihene and Amy Duplessis? They recognised that there was an overlap in space with Martha Mataele just holding her width there, and just be able to recycle the ball that quickly, really catching Auckland off guard.
So that makes 26 tries in 27 games for Mataele. As the conversion from out wide is unsuccessful, but as you said, Taylor Curtis, this passing has been magnificent, hasn't it?
Absolutely, it's just that option to have in your toolbox too. Cut out 2 or 3 defenders straight away. There's also the work to be able to run onto it too. That's what the injection and pace comes from Mataele.
That's all right. Just timing.
I actually seen that was something they were practicing in their warm-up. Amy Duplessis' long pass to Mataele. So they've obviously seen there's opportunities there. Maybe that the wingers from the Storm have a tendency to jam in. Looks like a practiced move.
Demand with her first restart of the game. Hutana catches the ball. It's a very deep pick as well from Demand. Sorensen McGee gives it back to Demand. Looked at her options, decided let's have a run, and Vahai Oh, well, there's an issue again once more. And Mata Ele, she is going to go back-to-back, turning something out of nothing. That's incredible work. And you can't help but think it was just that delay in passing from Demant that really put Vahai under pressure, and Mata Ele pounced.
Exactly. It looked like Ruahei Demont was taking her time to look in the backfield for space to kick, and then at the last minute has decided to make that pass, which I'm not sure her outsides were ready for, but Martha Mataele has snapped that one up and made them pay, and now we've got a near even ball game.
And it definitely came from also the pressure from Amy Duplessis. She was in the defensive line with Canterbury, but then flew up and put all that pressure on Vahai because she knows how dangerous she is herself in space. So she shut that down, caused the mistake, and Martha Mataele, well, you need more than one defender to try get her down because that's exactly what she'll do. She'll make you pay, and what quick return. 2 tries in literally 2 minutes for her.
Unfortunately, they've missed that conversion, which would have made that a 2-point game. Young Hannah King right in front of the sticks, unfortunately.
Demant changes direction with the restart. This time goes to her left. Bremner was there. Ball a bit messy. Vaipolo really pressuring Henny, but she does well to get the pass to Love. Love fighting to stay on her feet. Ball is stripped away from her, though, by none other than Moi Moi, who's really had a phenomenal game in that 8 jersey today. Puckett finds Fisher on the run.
Release! Release first, you're part of the tackle.
Puckett again to Brunt. This time she finds Kataoka. One of 2 Japanese players in this team who've come over for some experience. And here goes Valiko just storming under the post. There was absolutely no one there marking the ruck. Brilliant heads-up play, and Valiko gets a double.
She has said, Martha, if you're going to get 2, I'm going to get 2 as well. But what was interesting there is it actually took her a couple of attempts to pick that ball off the back of that ruck. And Pip Love, I thought she might have identified that. You can see here it takes a couple of attempts. Pip Love, or Philippa Love, is just a bit wide off the ruck, allowing space for Valiko to jolt through.
Absolutely, and both those post options on either side of the ruck were looking forward and slightly to the outside, not taking any notice of what's happening in the ruck itself. Chrissy Valiko, she felt that pressure. There was no eyes on her. Beautiful pick and go. It's exactly what you want from your forward pack.
Well, it really just parted for Valiko like the Red Sea. No one in front of that ruck whatsoever. But it's also a really difficult thing to identify that, as you know, Les, because when you're there at the ruck, the instinct is to get it out. But she just looked up and said, hey, there's no one in front of me.
I think, too, when you're worried about the threats that the Storm have on the outsides, it starts to take your attention away from the centre of the game, and right then it was at the baseline of that ruck.
So 5 tries so far in this half. It's been a real battle between the top of the table teams. We didn't expect anything less as Fisher winds up. Puckett with that skip-out pass to the impressive Moi Moi out of the College Rifles team. Just playing in her 8th game today, Moi Moi. As Brunt, as Aldo mentioned, hasn't really had too much ball in hand. This defensive Canterbury has got up quickly on her every time she's had an opportunity. As Fisher again with that looping pass. Vahakolo didn't realise Hutana was behind her, and they've got the penalty too.
Oh, that was really unlucky. I'm not sure was that they actually knew where each other was going in that moment. Just a bit of confusion. Here we have it. Fisher gets the ball away to Vahakolo, and Mama Vaipulu has just obstructed unintentionally. But now Canterbury are back in, deep in the Storm 22, with the line out to strike off.
space has been really good. We've had no penalties for offsides. Just tell the girls wherever it is.
We see Hayley Hutana coming into the option, the blindside winger, the inside of Hannah King there.
Ponsonby has been good this year. She's the most accurate line-out thrower in the competition, operating at 95%. 21 from 22 heading into this game as Jenkins with another carry. Heaney, skip pass to Love, gets the pass away to Bayfield. Educated just down the road at Mount Albert Grammar was Bayfield. 2-on-1 down here. Right, Akeli, another Mount Albert Grammar student actually as well. But they've secured the turnover.
She's always on the ball.
And that's great defence coming in from Auckland.
It was a very crucial turnover from Vahai. Deep in the 22 and 4 minutes out till half time. There's a big play for the Auckland Storm.
That was huge. You almost could see that Canterbury were trying to get it out to their edge. It worked for them earlier with Mataele in the corner, but they tried to do it again, and it was beautifully read by the Auckland Storm defence. And how about Rohe to man and been absolutely everything so far in this game. Her defensive pressure has been next to none. She's been just so well today.
It's knocked on by Auckland. And so you can't help but think they just keep giving Canterbury opportunities to stay in the game.
They 100% do, and I think if you look at the exit, Ruahei Demont, we know the class of the woman, so she wouldn't have been happy with the distance she got on that kick, didn't relieve enough pressure. And then to thumble there, Eloise Blackwell, again, classy woman, classy player. To lose that in the air, she'll be disappointed with that.
Just over 2 minutes left in this first half between the top of the table teams. Canterbury sitting atop Auckland just underneath them. Heaney. Again, it's just not a crisp pass to her 10, which puts them on the back foot. Waterman had to reach backwards, but they still have ball in hand. Duplessis trying her best to get some go forward, but Demant with a driving tackle towards the touchline. Puckett as well, playing her opposite, and Auckland turned the ball over. Oh, an enormous Ari Sarver-like dummy coming in from Brunt. And like Sarver, didn't sell it to many people. They kicked the ball away. And it is now in the hands of Right Akeli, who has also been kept very quiet. Remember, she has 8 tries this season. As Ponsonby tucks her head, she's had plenty of carries in this game. Trying to unlock some space, and it's a big collision between the two loose head props. Mataele gets it to Right Akeli. Here's some space now for Duplessis. Amy Duplessis tried to free up the hand for an offload. No one running off her shoulder. Heaney goes down the short side. And that is one run coming in from Mataele. Dana Nankerville thrust backwards. And just a minor knock on there in the rough. But Canterbury, you could just see how lethal they are when they do trust themselves and have a go through that back line.
You're right. I mean, they have shown in this passage of play their intent and their ability in their attack, their ability to keep the ball alive. They're happy to play down the fridges of the field. And I think here just Auckland maybe caught napping a little bit there. They need to ensure that the intensity on defence is matched just like the intensity on attack.
We're all working hard, so well done.
Well, earlier you could see Isabel Waterman throwing up her hand as well, just to watch the depth in the kick, as Auckland will probably look to come out of this position on the field. But we haven't seen that very often, like you mentioned, Les. He'll want to exit this one, especially going to the half.
Well, as Les mentioned, the lack of wanting to exit with a kick has really hurt Auckland, should I say, and well, Canterbury applying some pressure as well, but they've given away a penalty advantage. And Blackwell says, let's end this half and go have a chat about it. So it is the home team, Auckland, leading Canterbury 21 points to 10 here in the Farah Palmer Cup.
The NRLW is set to
don't happen. I'm not against Canterbury, so just need to tidy that up, hold on to the ball, build phases and score a few more tries.
And I guess, like you touched on that, build the phases and that momentum, but there's been a lot of defensive effort from your side as well, but you must be pleased with that.
Yeah, like there's been some huge defensive efforts, some great jackling from the girls. You know, we've just talked to them about keeping their eyes up, knowing where the numbers are, because Canterbury are a good side, so you've got to be on your toes.
You guys are looking in good form. Good luck for the rest of the game.
Thanks very much.
Well, what have you made of that first half and maybe the message at halftime going into the second?
That first half, just a little bit of focus on momentum, a few momentum changes there, and so being aware of that and trying to control it. And then our discussion at halftime was about just tidying up at the breakdown and sticking to our core roles.
Well, hopefully we can see that in the second half. All the best.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Well, Anna Richards has said she wants her team to hold on to that ball, Les, because there's a couple of wayward passes that allowed them back into the game. But before we head into that, Mata Ele has just skipped over Grace Brooker, who was running the waters today, as the third all-time try scorer for Canterbury. Kendra Coxedge all the way up there with 67.
Thank you.
And hard person to chase down.
Yeah, it's a good, 40, I'm not very good at maths, but a good 40 or so tries to catch the stalwart Kendra Coxedge, who's actually messaging me right now as we speak. She's probably listening and tuning in. She's analysing the game from home, as all passionate rugby players do. I reckon just enjoy your cup of tea out there, Kendra.
She's beaten the Auckland Storm plenty of times, has Kendra Coxedge. She'll be hoping that this Canterbury team hold on to their long-standing record over Auckland. Auckland haven't beaten them since 2017. As we get underway once more, and Les Aldo and I were just talking about, we like the look of Bayfield, and there she is with a good carry in the middle of the field, playing, of course, where she was educated in Auckland, but that kick just going out on the full.
Just an observation, history tells that this year Canterbury haven't been the best starters in the game, but they often score a lot of their points in the third quarter of the game. So they start the second half really well, and it is the quarter that the Auckland Storm concede most points. So this quarter is going to be crucial to the game.
That wasn't straight. You could see it went on the outside arm of Eloise Blackwell and Taylor Curtis. What's the weather conditions like? As we said, it keeps changing.
Well, Taylor, the wind came in a little bit earlier, but it's died back down, so there's no interference at all. So no excuses on the wobbly passes, but just need to execute there.
Crouch! Point! Sit!
Heaney gets it to Waterman. She puts boot to ball. It's a good chase coming in, and it's batted back by Puckett brilliantly. And Duplessis was over that ball. The referee said play on, so Demant undecided as to which way to go. Puckett goes right. Running on to the balls by Pulu. Duplessis need to make another tackle. Nankiville spider gap. Puckett is there. Counter coming in from Bayfield.
You touched the ball.
And it's a knock on as well. So Auckland just guilty of holding on to that ball in there a bit too long.
I think a bit of confusion. Eloise Blackwell has come in. They're anticipating a counter ruck from Canterbury. She's pushed Puckett, the halfback, into the ruck, who's then had to scramble in behind and then just bubbled it at the back there. But unlucky.
It's a great contest between these two halfbacks, Mel Puckett and Daiheni. They've spent plenty of time together playing in the Canterbury jersey. Mel Puckett, part of the squad in 2017 to 2021, and then making the move to Auckland.
Heaney gets the pass away. Hutana with the wraparound, fires it to her opposite winger. Mataele takes on Vahai. Vahai manages to take her into touch, and Right Akeli also burrowed into touch by the tackle of Nankivell. They probably just were guilty of running a bit too lateral instead of forward and shutting down that space on the edge, Les.
Yeah, you're right. They got some great gain line here, but you would have liked for Hayley Hutana to just straighten up a little bit. Great cover defence here from Nankivell.
Over, please. Yeah,
But you can see the threat that Mataele possesses on the edge of the field there.
Let them walk in.
Nagata goes to the back of the line-up through by Pulu. Brunt with another carry. It's her 12th carry of the game, Sylvia Brunt. So busy is the midfielder. Puckett, demand a contestable kick, and Rahakolo almost reeled it in. It was knocked back by Red. So they'll contest with this ball, Auckland. Throwing plenty of bodies at that ruck, but it's still there.
Backwards.
Right, Kelly bobbles it again, and just really in 6s and 7s at the moment.
Just a bit messy at the moment, but great pressure shown there by the Storm. But I think what you mentioned earlier, Taylor Curtis, is the battle of the halfbacks, and Mel Puckett for me has had an outstanding game already. She's had to clean up a bit of wobbly ball at the back of some of those rucks, and she's doing really well.
Absolutely, and she knows what the pressure that Canterbury can come up with as well. She's been inside the camp, she knows how they think and their game plan. So she's been a big player for the Auckland side, and she just plays with so much confidence, and she really backs her decision-making around here, and she lights up Ruahei Dumont, as we see, which is a great team to have work with.
Take a look at that stat as well. Auckland has won 23 of the first 24 fixtures in this matchup. So they had dominance completely from 2001 to 2017, and Canterbury really had the resurgence of women's rugby, and have won plenty of titles to show for it as well. And it's relatively evened up in the Farah Palmer Cup, as Veliko has another strong carry. Puckett finds Fisher. Just trying to get the ball through the hands. Auckland. Brunt was standing deep, but the line speed was good from Ponsonby. And again, Puckett really enjoys going down the blind side, trying to find some space there, but the defence is always up to it for Canterbury. And getting in over the ball was Holly Greenway, one of the University Club.
There's a great turnover there by the young open side flanker. Maya Kawakalani Roos just couldn't get underneath her chest to be able to clean her out when she's that low to the ground. You'll see here, there was a good attempt to clean her out, but she's so low to the ground, her body position so low, so strong, you can't move her when she's in that position right there.
Ponsonby goes to the front to Jenkins. Long pass out. They go into the midfield to Duplessis. Waterman with a pass out to Mataele. She angles in, gets the pass away. This time to Hutana, puts it on the boot. And, well, they've got a good bit of territory there, did Canterbury.
They did. They're playing quite deep behind the gay line, so they've maybe made a 7-metre gain in their attack there, in that attack strike. I think what you said earlier, Taylor Johnson, is quite lateral in their attack. Martha Mataele does well to penetrate the line, but unfortunate, weren't able to keep that ball in touch.
I think what they're trying to do now for Canterbury is they want to light up the outsides. Well, they saw how it worked for them earlier, but I think you're right, Liz. They need those players in the inside to work a little bit harder and change the angle and put a lot more pressure on the defensive line for the Auckland, which they're not doing at the moment.
Don't forget that this is a double header here at Eden Park, and the NPC team are taking on Hawke's Bay, so they've set up Tackle the Floods today. So $10 for every adult ticket sold goes towards the victims of Cyclone Gabriel in the Hawke's Bay. So you can purchase a virtual seat for $10 by visiting the website there below. And it's a real lovely gesture from Auckland Rugby. And Les, we've been talking about how good Moi Moi's been. She's been a weapon in the absence of Michaela Tu'u.
We have. I mean, she's had an outstanding season already, usually playing at blindside flanker. Today covering the big shoes of Michaela Tu'u, but she has done extremely well. A couple of strong turnovers. She's always making the gain line on her carries.
It's overthrown into the arms of Ponsonby, and she marches towards the try line. About 3 metres away now. Canterbury, what can they do with this piece of possession inside their half? Pick and go coming in from Bayfield. A real good find for Canterbury. No way through for Pip Love. They're going to roll up their sleeves here. The Canterbury forward pack. Heaney gets it out. Numbers galore. If you can just get the pass out there, Vahakolo knocks it on. Refs completely missed it. Well, they'll come back for an offside penalty. Well, that was a try gone begging.
It was. Vahakolo did extremely well there to get in the air and disrupt that, but I think just the inaccuracy in the pass there, it should have went to hands. There was about 3 numbers to go through, and it should have been a shoe-in, but they'll strike again off a 5 metre line out.
Yeah, that was great work from Caitlin Vahakolo. She didn't bite in on a player at all. And I think Canterbury saw that Caitlin came through, so they wanted to throw that ball out wide, but like you said, they just couldn't quite execute. So we gutted over that one.
Reverting back to something that works so well for them, a line-out set piece is good. Bringing it down brilliantly was Bayfield, and there's an Auckland body there. Referee hasn't got an advantage out, so they need to just keep pushing through. You can see Ponsonby tucked in behind. They've got to get there, and Georgia Ponsonby is rewarded for all her hard work today, but more importantly, her accuracy at line-out time.
Yes, I mean, she has the top line-out throws in the competition. 21 out of 22 coming into this match, so operating at a 95% in her throws, and then just the patience and platform set by this forward pack to gradually wear down those meters. And she can see the line. She's low, she's got her eyes on the white chalk, and she's just waiting for the girls in front of her to take her forward.
Absolutely, and it's also the work from the rest of that forward pack. Whenever they are disrupted out of it, they peel round and get back involved in it and continue that momentum, which was equally just as hard to stop.
Successful conversion for King. Probably one of her more difficult kicks of today as well. So she shortens the lead. 21 points to 17, Auckland lead.
Like I said at the start of the match, this is the quarter where Canterbury come alive. They run out of the tunnel and start the third quarter of the game really strong. They applied the most points in this quarter. In comparison, it is also the quarter that Auckland Storm often concede a lot of their points. So the story is playing out in front of us.
DeMatt puts the ball up and it's inside the 22. And Bayfield gets away from the first few defenders. She's been so good today, Bayfield. Out of the Linwood club. Marching forward was Amy Rule. You can just see that Canterbury have a bit of a spring in their step, and as I say that, the captain throws the ball forward to Mataele.
You're 100% right though, Taylor Johnson. They've definitely got the confidence on their side, and you can see that with the intent in their carries and their confidence in letting the ball go. But just unfortunate there, Alana Bremner. Great option.
Canterbury have made a sub. They've brought in Stacey Neal off the bench for Emma Dermody, who just finished off her 12th game for Canterbury.
Yeah, there was a delay there. Just, no, stay down, Former.
The thing about this Canterbury side is the confidence that they've been able to grow through their team culture over the years, just being so dominant in the competition. Regardless of the points aren't on their side on the scoreboard, they don't let it get in their heads, and they stay very calm under pressure.
Big push coming in for Canterbury and Auckland. After round 7, have finally lost the scrum with their own team.
And you can see how happy the Canterbury girls are with that, disrupting a scrum that's been operating at 100% all season. They're proud of that, and like I said earlier, the confidence that this Canterbury team are showing will continue in this next passage of play, no doubt.
Well, Canterbury, they've got a strong scrum, but also defensively as well. 89%, putting a lot of pressure on any team that they go up against. But that's a big win for them to disrupt 100% rate for the Auckland Storm forward pack.
Ponsonby has it disrupted. It's been picked by Roos. And line speed has been brilliant from Canterbury, but it was illegal. So they've got the advantage to Auckland. Roos decided to kick it.
Number 2, offside.
I think she's hit the face of Pip Love. Poor Pip.
To us.
Oh, Pip. She's a battler. Probably didn't even notice that happened.
Bruce is having a giggle too, and that is why we leave the kicking to the backs. Ouch.
Straight Falcon to the face of Philippa Love and her teammate, Blackfern teammate there.
And from the language and expression on her face, she did feel that.
She's so staunch. I love Pip Love. Here's Auckland. Continue their threat against the Canterbury defence. 4-point lead at the moment. As Fisher with yet another carry. The front rowers have been extraordinary for both teams. As Demant gives the fake to the left, tries to pop the pass to her half pairing.
I've got the knock on
Puckett, but it's a knock on.
Just a bit guilty of forcing a couple of passes here, the Storm. As we heard at halftime from assistant coach Anna Richards, she'd like her team to hold on to that ball. So they do need to do that if they want to continue to apply the pressure on this fighting Canterbury side.
And as you can see, it's a double header here. Remember, they're raising funds for the Hawke's Bay. Falau Whakatava, well, he'll be wanting to stay in form and stay away from the cameras, looks like it. Knowing that the World Cup is 2 weeks away and anything can happen.
Sit! Use it.
Canterbury
Hold. Good work.
go up in the air through Waterman. This is a lovely run from Sorensen McGee. She just hasn't had any opportunities. And it falls in the hand eventually of Demant. Puckett. That is a tough call because he's called her for playing the halfback, but she'd well and truly picked that ball up.
She had, and I think she's arguing that, Duplessis, that the ball had been lifted, which gave her all rights to have a go at Mal Puckett. But referee Brandon Roberts has seen it differently.
And they've gone for the shot too, which is a smart decision. But let's take a look at this. So here's the initial run, Les, but you'll see that Puckett picks the ball up and is well and truly away from that ruck and poor Duplessis gets pinged for it.
Well, I think because Ruahei Demont has actually handed Puckett the ball as well. The ball is off the ground from the get-go, so maybe unlucky there.
There's no ruck.
But how about this, though? The Storm have chosen to take the 3, and that just shows the respect for the Canterbury team. The Storm will be wanting to creep that margin out as far as they can as we approach the final quarter of this game.
Beautiful kick coming in from Demap. And now it is a 7-point lead. Don't forget as well, if Canterbury score a converted try and it's locked up, we will have golden point. As it's a low kickoff coming in from King. Auckland wanting to try and extend this lead. They haven't really looked to kick an exit, but you can see they've changed the tack. Yeah, but in fact they've put up a contestable as opposed to a clearance kick. And it's a penalty as well, offside.
Crucial play, that one, because now the Storm are in their 22. Canterbury have an opportunity now to kick for touch to gain more metres, go to a line out, which is a strong striking platform for them. So again, it just swings all the momentum back on their side. And what did we just see there? Bit of hurdles.
Well, Liz, I don't think they can call that a hurdle if you don't attempt to jump on that one. But unlucky there from Ruahei Demont. Last week, she had 7 of her kicks that were retained back there. So that was just an unlucky error. Well, here's the hurdle that Liz mentioned.
I think that may make Crowd Goes Wild. Is that right, Taylor Curtis?
I'll make sure that it's in there.
Yeah.
Brilliant execution again of the Moore, but she's up in the air because Auckland pushed her early and the referee has his arm out, and rightly so. Well, we've had it all in this game, haven't we,
Just be
Liz?
mindful driving early.
I don't know if I've ever seen a sign on Smashed and Bro.
Happy?
Well, Liz, you can tune in on Monday night at 7 o'clock to make sure that
Number 3 blue.
that makes it on Smash and Bro there. Well, there's a sub coming through here. Eldora Atunu taking onto the field, and what a sub that is as well. Taking on Sophie Fisher. And France Bloomfield, well, you mentioned her earlier in the build-up there, someone to look out for in this Auckland side, taking the field for Mel Puckett, who's been outstanding for the Auckland Storm today.
Bringing on 2 internationals, what a luxury for Auckland. Bloomfield playing for Samoa and Itunu, 24 Test Blackburn. As they'll go again with that line out, and it's a better defensive push from Auckland. They got their timing right, allowed her to hit the ground. Ponsonby, though, searching for her second off the back of a maul. Still going forward.
No, leave it.
Blackwell tried to get herself disruptive. And here goes Ponsonby. She's driving low. She's over the line. Just has to dart it down. And again, she picks up her second try from a maul and is rewarded for that accuracy.
I mean, that's just great rugby. You just fall back on your strengths, which is your line out, and then your line out more is destructive as well. That's just smart from Canterbury. I actually thought Eloise Blackwell had done quite a good job, and Mama Vaipulu, to come through the middle there and disrupt it. But referee Roberts has told them they need to come back around, which has just allowed the Canterbury side to push right over the line, and all Ponsonby has had to do is fall on the ball.
Well, they mentioned at half-time the momentum swinging on both sides for these teams, but that's just coming off the back of a kick that didn't quite go to plan from the Auckland Storm, and Canterbury were able to execute straight off it.
Good point that you make as well, Taylor Curtis, because Anna Richards says she wants her team to hold on to that ball And by putting up that contestable kick, it's resulted in a try for Canterbury. Stellar conversion kick as well. So 24 all. We have a game on our hands here. Remember, in this very matchup last year, it was the grand final, and Auckland were well and truly defeated 41 points to 14.
Yep.
Now we find ourselves with 24 all and the potential of a golden point.
You've got to acknowledge the depth in this Canterbury side to have that many people out from their starting lineup. And young gun Hannah King, only in her 9th game, nailed a pressure kick from the side.
Drop backwards by Bayfield. Correct call as well coming in from the referee. Great exit kick as well. Dement, fake to the right, gets rid of Duplessis. Bloomfield again goes to that short side. You can't help but think that's what they've been told to do quite often. They look to go down the edges, and storming run coming in from Itunu. Dement into the collision area. Ball is slow to come back for Auckland. There's Roos met in the tackle of Waterman and Jenkins. Maul has been called, so they'll lie all over it and turn the ball over. That is good work by that Canterbury defence.
Yep.
Just a bit of confusion there by Ruahei Demont. She's had to carry into contact, and she didn't have options outside her. It didn't look like anyone was ready to receive anything outside her. But they're just playing a little bit indecisively at the moment, their attack. You can see off camera Ruahei having a strong word with her forwards around what she wants.
Canterbury have made a sub, bringing on Maddie Robinson into the front row in replacement of Pip Love.
You can see here the Premiership live standing. So now if Canterbury win, they will host the final in a couple of weeks if they can get past Hawke's Bay next weekend. And Auckland will face Waikato after playing them just last weekend at Colin Maiden Park.
No space for the set. No space for the set.
But all
Readjust.
4 of those teams
Give
have
yourself
already
space.
qualified for the semi-finals. It's just where they will end up.
You got to say, if this Canterbury side does get up, that's a huge boost of confidence, because they would have done so with arguably not their strongest side. They've got a number of Black Ferns out, so to inject them back in the finals, massive for them.
No Kelly, no Brooker, no Steinmetz, no Parks. Yet they find themselves even, but this is the strongest scrum coming in from the Storm as Heaney tries to have a go herself. Fires that wayward offload. It's pulled down by Dement.
Touch the blue.
They'll come back for a knock-on advantage. They'll get another opportunity, Liz.
It's a great cover tackle there from Maya Kawakalani Roos. That could have been dangerous. I think she's packing down on the outside of the scrum. She made a a potential try-saving tackle there.
And Rosie Buchanan-Brown comes off the bench for Daihini, replacement on that half-back role as well. So both halves for both Canterbury and Auckland have been switched.
Roach! Point! 6!
So Buchanan-Brown with her first touch of the game. They give it to Mathaele. She's picked up a double already, but well shut down that time. Bremner trying to get some go forward for her team.
No. Advantage.
And, well, Moi Moi has played the halfback, so they're under a penalty advantage. Niall off the bench. Beautiful tip-on pass to Bremner. Back to Niall. Better hands coming in from Canterbury. Round the neck
14.
comes Vahakolo. Just got a bit mixed up there trying to get that ball. They've got numbers down that short edge, and Lucy Jenkins with the big left-hand palm off. Thrown to ground. Good continuity coming in from this Canterbury team. Not something we've seen a lot of in this game. Bremner guilty of forcing that pass to Duplessis, but they'll come back for that penalty advantage on the high shot.
As we've seen in the first half, Auckland's ability to let the ball go and their execution and their ball skills was outstanding, but now it's flipped, and we're seeing that from Canterbury. They're all running in motion. They got players hitting spaces. They're able to let the ball go and know that someone's there to receive it.
Well, you can see it's an attacking structure that almost comes down from the Black Ferns environment too, don't you? With that inside runner being an option. Anytime that pod goes past the advantage line, they're looking for the offload, and we've been seeing Canterbury do that all day. And that's just the high shot from Caitlin Vahakolo, misreading that one on Amy Duplessis. Well, a couple of changes here. We've got Danielle Desolai coming off the bench in the number 20 jersey, as well as Suliete Halafihi for Kataoka.
Moimoi's had a great game.
Absolutely, as Canterbury look to try and break the deadlock, and just slicing through was Bremner, finds her Blackburn teammate and Duplessis. Just 5 metres out now. Here goes Mata Elliott. Such strength in her carries. Rule runs into the staunch defence of Auckland. They've got numbers to that left-hand side, but Ruahei Dement did brilliantly to not only shut it down, but strip the ball. Huge play coming in from the Blackburn captain, but equally getting it over that ball was her opposite in Hannah King.
She's on the ball.
What a crucial turnover that was. Both 10s, actually. Ruahei Dement stealing that ball for her Auckland team, and then to have that taken back straight away from young Hannah King. But as we see here, line break from Canterbury, and then Ruahei Dement make the tackle, strip that clean, and then Hannah King come over top of Eloise Blackwell and do the same thing to get her team the ball back, and a potential to put 3 points on the board. 2 points.
We could see from Canterbury, it was quite interesting there. They used one pod there and then decided to spread it out wide, and you'd almost think that they needed another pick and go there just to suck in more of that Auckland defence, because that's exactly what they managed to do, is disrupt it and strip the ball from their hands. Canterbury are lucky to get away with that one.
Three points awarded to Hannah King. So now Canterbury, for the first time in the game at the 68th minute, take the lead over Auckland, 27 points to 24. Still 12 minutes to go though, Les. Plenty of time for this Auckland team to come and break that 7-year drought.
Plenty of time, all right. They need to start with a good restart. Great chase to put pressure on Canterbury in their 22 and hopefully force an error.
Demand kicks to her right. Bayfield loves the carry, does Bayfield, but she cocked the shoulder to the chin from Blackwell.
She fell. Just touched her, she fell.
Can't help but feel the Storm's discipline is starting to really let them down. They are the team with the most yellow cards in this competition, 4 yellow cards. They need to make sure they play smartly, because they're just giving away easy meters.
Oh, that's just unfortunate there for Eloise Blackwell. You'd almost think that Bayfield was in the falling motion before colliding with Blackwell's shoulder there.
It's a pretentious subject over the past few weeks, Taylor Curtis. Has it stolen once more from Roos. Auckland, Demand pops the pass away to a replacement in Halafihi. That's what you want from your bench. There's Nankiville. Angles back into traffic. Bloomfield away to Vaipulu. And the loose trio really been phenomenal for Auckland this afternoon. Brunt, we haven't seen too much of her in that second half. As Roos from a standing start.
Nothing here.
Manages to get a couple of metres.
Flag in the air from the line out.
We're going to go all the way back to the line out, playing in the air.
Defensively, you can see that Canterbury are choosing not to commit too many numbers to the ruck, so they're choosing to have women on feet rather than in the ruck to make sure that they've got numbers on their feet to shut down the attack that we know the Storm are capable of.
Here we go now. Yep.
And that's a massive difference, isn't it, Les? Where we saw in the first half, Canterbury were throwing all the numbers into that ruck.
Play on.
So they've obviously had that conversation at half-time, and it's definitely worked in their favour so far.
Nagata, the Japanese international, with the line-out throw. Made a debut back in 2021. Finds her target in Vaipolo. This time we see an Auckland drive. We haven't seen it in the game. Bloomfield trying to rip the ball out, but Bremner has done a wonderful job of coming in through the middle.
Yep. You're good, stay there.
Sort of blood nose of the game to show for it as well. Really been in the wars has Bremner, and she's stolen the ball too. What a play from the captain. And trying to muscle up the field again as her front rowers.
Stay on, Red. Hold, hold, hold.
Porting the ball up was King. Sorensen McGee, she has time. What does she do? Goes to her left. DeMatt brilliantly holds the ball up. Back to Sorensen McGee.
Not on the ball. You're not on the
Jenkins told she wasn't on the ball, not happy with it, as you can see on her face. Itunu, well, Aldora Itunu with every run has got rid of defenders as they continue another phase, this Auckland team. Halafihi, Roos, Bloomfield, Valiko. Slow grind at the moment for Auckland. Low pass there for Itunu. Does well to collect it and evade the first defender. That time, a bit of disconnect, and it's a knock-on as well. And errors really creeping into the game now.
They sure are, and with the number of substitutions made, maybe just still trying to get themselves into the game, but those are some costly errors. And this is when pressure starts to come on. We know what Canterbury are capable of under pressure. They just keep fighting and fighting, but it's been a while since the Storm have had this opportunity this close to win. So to deal with this pressure, it'll be interesting to see how they go with it.
And Canterbury have just made a sub as well in that forward pack. Amy Milner comes off into the front row position for Amy Rule. So completely different two props for Canterbury.
Big push coming in from Auckland, but they get it out quickly through Buchanan Brown. Beautiful exit as well from the kick, and the bounce is kind to Canterbury. It's in the arms of Amy Duplessis. Canterbury now with some continuity. Ponsonby.
Leave it now.
Buchanan Brown finds Neo. Good line speed coming in. Angling in is Jenkins. Tries to get rid of Rouge. She eventually pulls her down.
Leave her, leave her, leave her.
Plenty of feeling out there with 5 minutes to go. Trying to move out to the left is Canterbury. Got to play her down.
Tackle!
In fact, she's back to her feet. It's Ponsonby. Putting the kick along the ground is Waterman. Sorensen McGee misjudges it, but eventually has the ball in hand. She's taken by right Akele.
Leave her, 14. Use it!
Bloomfield. And they've turned the ball over now, have Canterbury inside the red zone. The pass again has been wayward, and it has not been a clean game of rugby from either team, Les Alda.
No, it hasn't. The second half has been a little riddled with errors.
1 and 2 sub.
But that error there has definitely allowed the Storm to have a breather, regather their thoughts, get some composure. Because they're going to need to scrum well, exit well, and apply some pressure down, hopefully, in the Canterbury half.
And Auckland have made a couple of changes, hopefully to apply that pressure there, Les, that you mentioned. They've brought on Alakoka, Po'oi and Cheyenne Tulifale into that front row. So completely different front row for the scrum. That's been exceptional today. Chrissy Valeko comes off, and she has got 2 tries next to her name today.
Give it to my official. She'll take it. Okay.
Impressive run from the loose head prop.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. Okay, time is now on. Crouch! Bind! Sit! Yeah, new player. First collapse.
So the scrum goes down, and let me remind you all that the score in this game last year was 41 points to 14 to Canterbury in the grand final of the 2022 Farah Palmer Cup. And it has been a long time between drinks for Auckland, having won over Canterbury the last time back in 2017. It was at this very field, and the score was 41 points to 12.
Sit!
Not only is pride on the line, but also pole position in the premiership. Whoever wins this game has the opportunity for a home final, as Brunt is shut down by Duplessis and Jenkins. Sorensen McGee with the quick hands to Vahakolo. Buchanan Brown tried to go high on Vahakolo, and she's so strong for a winger as Vahakolo.
Release.
Heavy collisions across the park today. Still 3 points the difference. Auckland can force golden point if they can get down the right end of the field and force a penalty, but they're not going to with those errors.
Again, the Storm have chosen to run it from their 22, and I get that there's not much time on the clock there, but there was enough there to just potentially kick, exit, and apply pressure on Canterbury, but they haven't been able to get out of their half, and so all the pressure's back on them, on D, with a great attacking platform for Canterbury.
On the right-hand side here, you've got Wright Akili with Martha Matele. And both of those players are renowned for their try scoring that they've done all year.
Use it.
Just over 2 minutes to play in this game, and Waterman crashes the ball forward. Canterbury want to stay down this end of the field, hold on to that ball and grind this Auckland team out. Ponsonby, she has been phenomenal for Canterbury with her 12th run. She's had more carries than anyone else in this team today, has the front rower. Outstanding stuff from the Blackfoot. They go down the left side. Bayfield has had another strong game for this red and black team. Again, Ponsonby. Got a big ticker, does Ponsonby.
Stay down.
Just going from left to right at the moment through Buchanan Brown. Bremnut. Neo. Chewing the clock down here, Canterbury. Auckland really need to make a play for the ball here. It's continuing to be passive at ruck time. It's going to be a slow grind. Again, Stacey Neal. Well, it's not the most exciting thing at the moment, is it, Les? We really need to see Auckland try and compete for that ball.
You're right. This is just the old Pistons in action. Just one side ruck, one go the other way. You need someone to make a big hit to be able to send a jackler in to potentially turn it over.
And that's the thing, the ball is really slow at the back of the ruck as well, and they're not really firing anyone up there. lacking a bit of direction, this Auckland defence. No one really telling them what to do.
Sound. Yeah, no.
Canterbury, well, you can't blame them. They're playing smart rugby right now. Pick and go.
Ball.
As you said, Pistons, just one-off runners off the 9. Here goes Jenkins.
The thing is, Taylor, defensively, it's obvious who's going to get the ball. So Auckland need to just shut that person down. But almost 2 minutes of pick and go of Pistons play.
Full time here at Eden Park in Auckland after leading for 68 minutes. It's heartbreak as Canterbury get the win, 27 points to 24. And you can't help but think just really good leadership and direction from this Canterbury team to come from such a big deficit and to grind out that win, Les.
100%. Earlier we've seen Alana Bremner come through a driving maul of the Storm and steal a ball for her team. We actually haven't mentioned today that her sister Chelsea Bremner is also out injured, and Alana has stepped in where Chelsea would usually be and made a massive play a little while back to get the ball back for her team. Great leadership shown by her.
So a win over Canterbury still eludes Auckland. 2017 is the last time they have beaten this strong Canterbury team. And so with this, Canterbury now finish the premiership in pole position and could potentially host a home final. Let's head down to the captain, Alana Bremner, who is with Taylor Curtis.
Well, Alana, what an arm wrestle of a game. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, that was awesome, just what we expected. You know, coming to Eden Park, Auckland's going to give everything, and they absolutely did. We had to stay in it and then obviously fight to the very end. I'm quite glad we practiced our Pistons at training last week. Didn't quite expect 2 minutes of it, but it was awesome to see us follow through and get the win.
Well, they were leading for 68 minutes of that game, and you guys managed to come through. But can you talk us through what are those Pistons that you talk about and what worked so well for your side to stay in it?
Yeah, absolutely. Auckland's an incredible side, and you saw the exciting attacking rugby they have and what they can play. I guess Pistons, the main thing is just carry low, get our cleaners there, and secure it to buy down the time.
Well, you must be pleased you've secured a home semi-final next week. What are the work-on areas that you think you'll need to take from this game going into that?
Yeah, it always means a lot when you're playing for a home semi. There's nothing like playing at home, so really excited to go back to Christchurch next weekend for a home semi. Work-ons, we'll look at that tomorrow, Tuesday, but yeah, there's definitely a lot to work on still.
Well, what a match. Congratulations and enjoy the rest of the day.
Awesome, thanks, Tay.
Thank you, Lance.
Les, as you just mentioned, they will be full of confidence after that win.
They will be. I mean, like we've said throughout this game, there are a number of girls that have had to step into some big shoes, filling the jerseys of a number of Black Ferns who are out due to injuries and things like that. A few of them will be looking to be back as we head into finals. So for this Canterbury side to beat a pretty strong Auckland team, hugely confident.
Well, let's go downstairs to Taylor Curtis, who's with Eloise Blackwell.
Well, Eloise, not the result you're after, but still, what a match. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, definitely not the result we were after. We were coming out here to make a statement. We've been playing some really good footy the last couple of weeks, and, you know, it's really great to be back at our home at Eden Park, and I think we had a really great first half and then just fell off the ball in that second half and allowed the quality side of Canterbury to come back in and get us at the end there.
And you guys were leading for 68 minutes of that game. Where do you think they were able to get on top of you?
I think we probably just went away from what we've been trying to focus on all game. We knew that they try and keep as many feet up as they can, and we'd identified some space through the middle there, and which we were getting a lot of gain line in that first half, and the second half we didn't utilise it as much as we could have.
Well, we know you didn't get the win here, but you have semi-finals next week, and you did, guys, put out a great performance. There should be some confidence you can take from this game?
Definitely. There's never losses. We always learn from that, and as I said, we had a really great first half, so it's just making sure that we can next week just execute a lot of those things. It's always that last pass or that cleaner's too slow, so just making sure we're really deliberate and we're paying a lot of attention to the detail there.
Well, hopefully we can see that next week, and all the best for the semi.
Thank you, Taylor.
Thanks, Ella.
I love what she said there. It is never losses, only lessons. They will head into the semi-final next weekend, but it is Canterbury who won this game here and finish top of the premiership table. They have the potential to host a semi and a final. They won 27 points to 24 over Auckland.